Previously on Nothing But the Tea.
Like I said, I think they're normalizing certain trends and it's wrong. You know, you have to be your authentic self, no matter what people say. And I mean, it's okay to be your authentic self. Girl, you were born with it, you know?
Then again, it's also difficult.
It is definitely. Oh, it's difficult.
It's so difficult because it's like you go into your bedroom and you look in the mirror and you have to tell yourself yes, 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 yes.
Exactly.
And you go
And
outside
in your mind,
and
like,
and you in your mind as well. So it's a constant battle between you yourself and then you get to go outside and
Exactly.
even fight with the world.
Exactly.
You know, because like you're telling yourself yes, and then all of a sudden like, the world is like nah. Hello there and welcome to another episode of Nothing But the Tea, because we know Chalaufan stories. Well, today I am joined by the beautiful and radiant Tjuna Daringo, and we will be having an open, honest and transparent conversation, just how you like it, on motherhood in the modern day. How are you, Tjuna?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for making time to have this sit down with me to just, discuss motherhood and what it's been like for you.
Thank you for having me.
It's an
Thank you
absolute
for considering
pleasure.
me for the interview.
It's an absolute pleasure. Well, let's get right into it.
Yeah.
How's it been, transitioning from being in the spotlight to being behind the scenes now that you are, so big on entrepreneurship and business as well?
Yeah, I think I appreciate the industry more now that I'm behind the scenes, because obviously being in front of you also learn a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I think that's also the only way how I'm able to be behind the scenes as well, because you have to know what's happening, when you're in the scenes, for you to understand. So I think it's been quite a journey. I think that there have been quite a few hurdles as well that have allowed one to grow, that have allowed me to also learn from certain situations, and have also aided me to be an entrepreneur that I am, I guess today. Yeah. So that's really how I got here. It's just through experience. Yeah.
Would you then say that becoming a mother has then sort of pushed you more into the backstage, into the behind the scenes of the industry?
I felt like that at some point.
Yeah.
I did, because when you just after having a child, people sort of tend to just okay, she's a mom now. let's not let's not bother her.
Yeah.
She's not cut out for this anymore. They tend to sideline you a lot, and I think one of the misconceptions is that once you're a mom, there's just certain things you just can't do.
Yeah.
And I'm a very versatile person, and I'm very adventurous as well. So I don't like to be limited, and I don't like to have certain things interfere with my dreams. I don't think that just because I'm now responsible for these two little human beings, that means that everything else that I want to do is sort of on hold or just gets put on the back burner. That's it. Not necessarily. So I just think that it's more of a you thing, if I can say.
Yeah.
So it's more, that's you, that's not me. So I would still sort of like to do a lot of things, and there's still so many projects that I would like to be a part of. And I think that my children will sort of understand that this is mommy, this is what she does, this is who she is, and they'll find a way to squeeze themselves in there.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that also comes with being a mother in the modern day, which is really what this discussion is about, and navigating that, because I think we've seen over the years how women have been able to really balance both,
Exactly.
both the, rushing and gunning for their dreams relentlessly while still being responsible for other people's lives. And how do you then think, growing up, obviously not in the 2000s?
Yes. Oh, but those were also my years.
Yeah, how do you think motherhood has then evolved to then sort of accompany or accommodate the modern woman's dreams?
You know, I honestly think that it's become more difficult
Yeah.
to be a mom in the modern day, because not only do you have technology has got its benefits, but also it's got its downsides as well. I think technology makes it a little bit difficult because obviously you've got children being distracted by so many things, you know, online, and, you know, like, we have to find ways to, like, bring them back out of, you know, the screen and the phones and all of these little gadgets that are around, you know. But also why I say it's become difficult is because back in the day, our parents had so much help around the house. Whether it was an aunt that was staying with you, whether it was cousins, or you'd send your child to the village and they'll be there for 3-4 years. I mean, I only came to Windhoek when I started kindergarten.
Really?
But I was at the village most of the time. So I got into kindergarten not speaking English, not speaking German, because I was put into a German kindergarten. And it was very difficult. But I mean, like, those few years, those first 5 years allowed my mom to really, like, you know, hustle. So we can't trust a lot of people these days.
Yeah.
You can't bring in an aunt over because you just never know their intentions. Like, you know what I mean? But back in the day, we had a community that would help you. Like, if you're tired from work, like, your aunt will come and take your child, or your cousin will be there, because we always had these large households.
Yeah, and
you
sorry
know?
to cut you off there, but I think that's where the phrase "it takes a village to raise a child" really comes in, because I think over the years we've lost that sense of villageness.
Yes.
You know? Yeah.
Zia, can you please share with Nathan? Thank you. You're such a nice brother. Awesome.
Yeah, I think it really does take a village to raise, and I think over the years, because I don't know what it is.
No, it has really been removed, and I'm trying to always find. Okay, go.
Truly, guys, I think from seeing this, motherhood is really a beautiful thing.
Sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. It's mommy, ne? Nathan, I love you, my boy. Come and sit down next to your brother. I'm so sorry, ne? Is he being a baby? Is he being a baby again? Don't worry, I'll give you my phone at home. Come, it's a deal. Pinky promise. Okay, you're my friend? Okay.
Just from, you know, seeing you with your kids.
Yeah.
What has motherhood taught you? I mean, you're just so gentle with them. It's so beautiful to see. Really.
Listen, you have to be gentle with these people, because how you respond to them is how they come at you. And I've got, like, you know, boys with strong personalities.
You're starting again.
Zia starting again. Just be patient, ne?
But I want to watch it for mine.
Okay, don't tell. Okay. It has taught you have to be patient. Number one, lots of patience. Generally, I'm a patient person.
Yeah.
But it tests your patience. You know, like when it's a high or low level of patience, you will still get tested one way or the other. But like I was saying, they've got strong personalities. So if I respond to them in a harsh way, they will come
and
give me attitude
your
the next day as
energy.
well. Yeah, they'll meet your energy. So it's very interesting. Like, sometimes you have to, like, try and contain yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes you want to beat the out of the child. Give them a real whooping, you know?
Yeah.
And then but these guys, they're so forgiving. That's the other thing that they teach you.
Yeah.
They teach you not only patience, but you need to have a forgiving heart, because 30 minutes later, you are still like, that kid did me wrong.
Yeah, you're still mad.
Like, you're still mad. But they're like, hey, mom.
What's up?
What's up?
As if you just
Like, chilled, like nothing happened. Like, listen, I mean, we're still friends,
as
man.
if you just didn't wreak havoc.
Oh my gosh.
2 minutes, 20 minutes ago.
So I honestly think that God blesses you with kids just to teach you to forgive.
And to teach you how to be patient.
And to be patient. I think like the patience part, genuinely, I'm a patient person. My friends complain all the time that, oh my gosh, you're too patient, you're too tolerant. So I think that's one thing that I think makes it a little bit easier for me.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think for me the most difficult part is the trying to balance. I don't think that any parent really balances.
Yeah.
I think I don't balance. I'm trying to balance. I'm trying to find my rhythm. I'm trying to figure it all out because, I mean, there's so many things also that are happening in my life, you know, which has not allowed me to sort of like find my feet yet. So, and they'll figure it out with me.
Yeah, because ultimately it is a journey.
Yes.
And I think motherhood really isn't perfect as much as you should make it seem.
No, sorry, my boy. So, they're interesting people.
But how would you say, as much as, you know, motherhood isn't perfect and all of that, how would you then, and I think in regards to the balance that you were speaking about, I don't really think you ever reach a balance or there is a balance to be reached. I think you just make it work for you and your family.
Precisely.
And as much as it seems like, you know, you're not finding your feet, I think the balance is just maintaining a happy home while maintaining a happy personal life.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and finding little pockets of your own joy as well, because you pour so much into your family and into the little ones that a lot of times you forget about yourself. And I'm very vocal and I'm very transparent also with my husband in terms of like, listen, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do, and I'm not going to be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
It's not, it's just, for me, it's suffocating. So I make it very clear in terms of sort of my vision and my passions.
And your goals.
And my goals.
Yeah.
And I still want to, you know, attain those. And I don't think that they're unattainable because, just because I'm a mom. Like, you know what I mean? And a lot of people just like lose their gas, they lose their fuel.
And they
once
limit
become a mom.
themselves because of motherhood. And I think motherhood is really supposed to be the fuel that then pushes you to actually then gun for your dreams.
Exactly.
Because like you did with the whole mothers in business thing, you incorporated, you know, your new life with your goals.
Yes.
And I think that's the beauty of it. And I think that in itself is striking a balance.
Yeah.
But moving on to, like you mentioned that, you know, there are some challenges in regards to like neglecting oneself.
Yeah.
How did you then cope from, you know, after giving birth to Nathan? There are certain things that women tend to struggle with after giving birth. For instance, learning to love your body again postpartum, and things such as postpartum blues and depression.
Exactly.
You know, what was that experience like for you?
And especially for first-time moms,
Yeah.
I think when you get the second one, it's a bit easier. But what I've learned to appreciate over the years is that one should allow themselves that time. Whether you call it grieving your old self, whether you call it grieving independence, whatever that looks like for you, I think that ultimately when such a huge life change happens within one's life, it's only normal for you to try and find ways to adapt and to try and understand. And sometimes it's your brain or sometimes it's your body that is struggling to adapt as well. And you just have to sort of just allow yourself to have that moment.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
To find that traction.
I didn't care about like who saw me and who thought of, you know, or who was making fun of how my body has changed or whatever it is, because I think like at some point I understood that this is just a phase and it's part of the journey, and at some point I'm gonna grow from it, or I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna start working out again. I'm gonna start hanging out with friends again.
Yeah, and it's really just about like giving yourself grace.
That time,
Look
exactly.
at me speaking as if I know.
No, but I mean, like, one can understand as well.
Yeah.
Because just like any other life-altering moment, motherhood is really the same. Apart from obviously you lose lots of independence, and you can't just
you gain more
board a
responsibility.
flight whenever you want to board a flight. You have to check so many things beforehand. But I think it's very important for people to just go through, because sometimes it's so hard to realize that you're going through depression. I think I've said it quite a few times that after I had this one, because I just started the restaurant. When I had him, when he was born, the restaurant was 3 months old. So I started the restaurant when I was like about 6 months pregnant. So I literally had 2 babies.
Mom to pee.
You want to pee? Let me take him to pee.
It's just the...
Okay. Oh, it's in here.
Right
Okay.
there, the Mickey Mouse
Okay.
bathroom.
Pupine. He still has tears in his eyes from the
Oh,
initial cry.
shame.
Sit down your chair. Yeah, sometimes you don't recognize the fact that you might be going through depression. And sometimes you only realize it afterwards.
Yeah.
Like I was saying with Nathan, I was depressed, I think, for like a good year or so. And I didn't realize,
That it
but I
was
only
postpartum
realized
depression.
after, exactly.
Yeah.
And I only realized afterwards because I asked myself, why are there like certain snippets or certain moments I can't recall? Like, you know what I mean? So that just means that I was like in some kind of a zone at that point.
Yeah.
Survival mode, if you may.
Yeah.
I will get it another time, baby. Can we play the other games for now? Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think I was in a survival mode type of thing. And only and like afterwards, I was like, yo, that was hectic. But what was it?
Yeah.
And then like I started like sort of asking a few professionals, and they were like, that looks like you have postpartum depression, girl. And I'm like, okay, thank God I came out of it at some point. I didn't need medication, but working out I think really helps me a lot. Yeah.
So that is sort of how you worked yourself out of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because exercising, that's time with yourself, and it makes you sort of like focus on yourself again. Like, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's the only you time that you have. And it didn't start with me going straight into the gym. It started with walks. And during this 30-minute walk that I had, like it just did a lot for me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Why do I feel so much
I feel
lighter?
so much lighter. And so you need time away from your family.
Yeah.
Yes. Blaze. Okay, Nathan, let's put Blaze a little bit. Remember what we talked about at home? Nathan, we pinky promise? No? Okay, fine. He's going to put Blaze in it. Okay. Go sit down, you Blaze machine monster.
But tell me a little bit. How was after having experienced postpartum depression?
Yeah.
How was the whole experience like for you while you were going through your postpartum depression with Nathan?
Well, like I was saying, like the moments I literally can't recall. But I think that the autopilot part of things, that I'm just like waking up, feed the baby, wash the baby, take the laptop, release a few payments, make a few orders, because at the time I was running the restaurant. I think having a bit of a routine helped me a little bit. And the fact that I had to get up for something, not just the baby, but I had to get up for work as well. I think that kind of like pushed me to do better. And then once I started exercising, that kind of like sort of like also helped me find some kind of a rhythm through that. But honestly, I think that it wasn't as severe. It wasn't as severe for sure, but I just definitely think that losing yourself, that is definitely like a sign of depression. Not recognizing yourself and not feeling comfortable within your skin and just like wondering like, oh, what's wrong with me?
But you can't pinpoint.
But you can't pinpoint what it is. So I think that's why it's very important to talk to have a support system around you. And keep them close and just keep talking. I think that helps because you really release a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes you find that a lot of people can actually relate,
true.
and then their comments or their feedback
Also brings you
consoles
more
you.
clarity
It
as
also
well.
consoles you.
Yeah.
So, oh, crap, I'm actually not alone in this. So why am I trying to have this all figured out? Well, nobody actually has it figured out. So that also consoles you. So I don't think that people should just stick to themselves and just corner themselves and just lock their door.
Yeah, live in a little bubble.
Yeah.
And having experienced that, how was the experience with Zia then?
With Zia, it was much easier.
Yeah.
As with Nathan, you're like, oh my gosh, he's eating from the floor. It's like, with Zia, it's like, he'll be fine. He'll live. He needs the germs anyways for him to build the immune system. Yeah. So with Zia, it was much easier. And also, Zia is more relaxed. And I think also because we know exactly what to do, it makes the process a little bit easier. Because you've got experience now, Not necessarily a master's degree, but you've got a diploma now. You're like, you know what I mean?
On your way to obtaining your bachelor's.
On your way. I think when you reach 4 kids, is when you really have a master's.
I think that's a PhD.
That becomes a PhD level
that's
now.
a PhD level. No, you can go. You're good.
I'm aiming a diploma level now because, girl, Yeah, no, 2 boys is almost like having 4 kids. I think personally, they're a lot.
But then, what would you say are some of the other things that motherhood really challenged? For instance, you know, your social life, and I mean, you've always been in like considered a socialite because of what you do.
Yeah.
So how did that affect your other spheres of your life?
Well, there's obviously lots of parties you get to miss out on. Lots of parties that you get to miss out on, and obviously events as well. And like I was saying, people tend to sideline you as well.
Yeah.
So they won't invite you to certain
Yeah.
events because like, oh no, we can't invite her, she's a mom now. So I think that socially, I get to, apart from people that are inviting a person. Okay, baby, I'm so sorry. Second thing again, eh? You're my friend. So it also affects your friendship. I think that was also sort of like a socially sort of like challenging or testing time for me because I couldn't see my friends as much as I would want to, and sometimes would headbutt because it's like they wouldn't really fully understand.
Yeah.
You know that okay, cool. Like, are you kind of just a family person or are you just?
But did you lose friends in that time? Because I think I've spoken to a couple of mothers that say that, you know, they've actually realized that during their pregnancy or post-pregnancy that they actually did not have true friends.
Yeah, exactly. But I think luckily for me, honestly, people who've got access to me, it's a very, very small group. And so luckily I can't say that I lost a lot of friends, but I did have moments where I didn't see quite a few people that I would sometimes see on a regular basis, who were not necessarily friends per se, but my circle was small enough for them to sort of like try and be part of this journey and this process that I was in at the time. So it didn't affect my friendships too much as well. It's just that I couldn't see them as much as they wanted to. Like the girls' night, I couldn't do them as much. Sleepovers had to stop. And I mean, like my friends and I are sleepovers type of girlfriends.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? That's what we used to be. And at a point that had to stop. So, but I think that obviously with every phase in life, there's a lot of sacrifices, and you just have to choose those sacrifices. Okay, I'm almost done, and then he's going to share the phone there. Anything needs to be? Patient. Okay, cool. So, yeah, but I wouldn't say honestly, socially, that it had such a huge effect on me. I didn't allow it to be that drastic.
Yeah, but I think again that comes with having a good support system at home already, so you don't feel as lonely as one that does not have that proper support system. Speaking of support system, what advice would you then give to somebody that is, you know, pregnant or you know, freshly entering the motherhood chat?
Yeah, it's tricky because not all advice will be relevant to everybody because some people are pregnant and they are alone. Some people are pregnant and they've got, you know, mothers and sisters and husbands and boyfriends and who are very supportive. Other people, you know, might be going through the journey alone or they might feel alone. But to some degree, I honestly think that there's nobody who's really like alone. I think that there's at least like one person in your life or two who you can really try and explain how you feel and be as transparent as possible and be vocal as possible. Because when we keep things in, that's really when the trouble really starts. So I think that people have to really make use of whoever is around them. And if you do have good friends around you, they will try to understand, they'll try to be supportive as well. But at the same time, as we were saying earlier on, some of those, you know, friends will also show the true colors, and you'll know who's not for you. And sometimes it takes a pregnancy, you know, to sort of like show you that okay, you need to move away from this now because it's not meant for you, it's not good for you. And I think that people often also fear being alone. But sometimes being alone is where you really find your strength.
Yeah, and I think that ties into, like you said, with any change and with any growth in life, it really reveals many things.
Exactly.
You experience, like you get to live through many revelations. And ultimately, it's a journey. I think that's really what I've taken away from today's conversation, that motherhood is not perfect. and it's not something that you have figured out as much as, you know, you prepare for it, as much as, you know, you do family planning and all of that. It really is a journey, and you learn on the job, basically, like you said.
Exactly.
And the more you do it, the easier it becomes.
The
Don't not
easier it
say get
becomes.
more kids, guys.
Don't get more kids. Just figure out
where you are,
where you are
you're
now.
going. You know, just take it step by step.
The older they get, the more you figure it out
Yeah.
as well. You know, they don't have to become more. Just become older.
They can increase with age,
Yes.
not in number.
Not in numbers.
So from me, Jemimah, Ndebele, and the radiant and beautiful Tjuna Daringo, it's goodbye.